Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a topic video on original superhero TV characters transitions into comic books. And the person who recommended this was Preston Phillips, so if you want to go check out the link for their channel, it'll be in the description below. And guys, if you have any recommendations for future topic videos, please let me know in the comments below, and if I answer them, that means in a couple of weeks it'll either be on Comic Uno or Comic Frontline, because I double dose my topic videos. Usually for Comic Frontline, I have them every Sunday or Monday, and for Comic Uno, I have them every Friday with my comic book reviews, so be sure to recommend away. I'm a little low on topic video suggestions, so that would be great. But let's start talking about this topic, which is original superhero TV characters transition into comics. Characters I'm talking about, Chloe Sullivan, Felicity, Diggle, those type of characters that originated on television shows, were created for television shows. Should they be transitioned to comics, and have they done it in the past? Yes, they have done it in the past, and I think really a character to think about is Chloe. Chloe's the big character. Now, there's also other shows that could go to, like, X-23 and Harley Quinn, who became big characters after their transition into comics. But first I want to talk about characters like the DC TV, characters like Felicity and Diggle and Chloe. Chloe I want to start with, because Chloe I feel like was one of these huge characters from Smallville that did not exist in the Superman mythology, and then she became such a big character in the show, they didn't know how to put her in the comics. I mean, you saw her throughout the years of struggling to try to fit Chloe in somehow. Of course, you had, like, the Smallville season 11 books. You had also probably the biggest one being the Jimmy backup story. I don't remember which series it was. I think it was like Action Comics. And every issue would have a Jimmy / Chloe background story. And then Chloe had this new origin story. But then after that, she kind of just faded away. They never used her. Now I remember when the New 52 happened, I was like, oh my god, they should bring Chloe. They could just put in her origin story with the New 52 if they're like redoing origin stories. Now, of course, in the New 52, that was around the time Smallville ended, but they didn't do it. Chloe never was put into the New 52. I feel like she was kind of a forgotten character to put into the comics, and now it's kind of a too late type situation. Because the show's over, would they add Chloe? I don't know. I don't see it happening anytime soon. So that's one example. Next being Felicity and Diggle. Now, they tried with Felicity putting her into the comic, but it's a bit hard because you have to change the origin stories, because obviously the TV mythology is very different from the comic mythology. And, they tried with Felicity. Diggle was a little bit easier, I think, but then dropped the ball on both of them and didn't really use them because there are so many different creators that went on to the Green Arrow title. So then they weren't used. They have probably more of a possibility of being used in the future compared to Chloe. Now, going into other characters, like X-23 and Harley Quinn. These are the big ones. Now, X-23 is now the current Wolverine, but she originated from X-Men Evolution, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and a very under-the-radar TV show if you haven't seen it. But that's where her origin story started, and then they're like, hey, let's introduce her. They had a mini-series that did well, and then she was integrated into the X-Men mythology, which is a little easier because she had kind of her own mythology that wasn't really attached to anything else. So that was easier. Harley Quinn, the biggest example of a character that originated, or superhero character slash, superhero slash supervillain character that started out in a superhero television show going into the comics and now being, this huge character. So with Harley, I think it was also a little easier because, yes, she was connected to the mythology of the Joker, but it was kind of easier to write her in than, like, Chloe, who was, started in Clark's life in Smallville. So it's a little harder to have that past, like, where was Chloe this whole time, if they were such good friends. Now with Harley, it's a little easier to, sneak her in and have her own origins, which happened with the Mad Love comic, and then a lot of people liked her, and now she has her own comic, more than her own comic, and now she's going to be in the Suicide Squad. So I think my example is really, It's great to see that these characters that we love became big comic characters that you can read every month in the comics, like X-23 and Harley Quinn. But then it is a shame when the writers or just the company just does not know how or if they should put the characters in their comic book mythology, like Chloe being the big example, and Felicity and Diggle kind of being in there too. And then there's other characters, like especially in Arrow, characters that are so based on characters of their comic mythology that they can't go into the series. Example of that, Thea Queen. You know, Thea is kind of like a Miko in the comics now. And Miko is, I would say, is a spin-off of Thea. Just say, hey, Oliver as a sister works in the show. But really, Thea is based on Mia Dearden, so from the comics. So you can't really add Thea because technically she's already in the comics. So that's an even tougher situation with characters like Laurel or Thea. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with that topic. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Do you think characters like Chloe should have been introduced in the comics sooner? Do you think it's too late for that character? Let me know in the comments below. So this is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.